So what is the meaning of this pink moon? Well, it's the first full moon of the season of spring, the element of wood, reaching its peak illumination just 30 minutes right after the midnight hour on the East Coast, April 6th. But why is it called the pink moon? So it's been time flowers, wildflowers, which are also known as moss pink for those pink colors. It's also been referred to as the breaking ice moon, or when the ducks come back. So just knowing that, and that it is the season of spring and Libra, all things that are partnership, commitments, balance, fairness, what comes to mind for me is harmony, the harmonics of sound, seed sounds, beauty, appreciating beauty, art, the beauty that surrounds all of life, the perfect blend and the balance of nature.
Inshallah and Ashe. Wow, hang on. Doing a little change there. That was a little bright. Woo! Blessings to you, my energetic beings. I'm just laughing. One of my gates is aligned. Either way, it's a tantalizing Thursday. Did you really feel like a wizard or a Merlin, a shaman, an oracle, or even a seer yesterday? But now we're getting the tantalizing taste of Thursday. Evanesque, the title of a book I wrote a few years back, needs to be edited, of course. It's called The Universe Moved Me. The universe, God universe, the galactic center, our gift and purpose. So while we're waiting for people to hop onto the show, dive into the replay later, or really just taking that moment, having a breath and a pause, climbing in our skin, being embodied. So being that this energy of this day is possibly the most auspicious and enlightening, I guess, more enlivening actually, where we begin a new, fresh birthing of who we are, climbing out of our skin as much as we're climbing into our skin. So how do we treat ourselves? Down the ego self, the action self, into the realm of the physical, being embodied and taking on the physical world, manifesting physical things and stuff. So lots of what we have in the material isn't actually even needed or even necessary, of course, in the realm of spirit, right? It's those weird manifestations that we just can't let go of. So when our ego works out with our consciousness and that involvement with the great spirit, our higher self, are we acting from spirit or ego? Or have we blended and maybe now we're like the spiritual ego or the spirit of our ego manifested? So the energy of our self-resolution, or maybe our revolution, old skin, old behaviors. We did have the snake this week. They're definitely in the past. The energy is like moving us forwards towards a healthier cosmic state, conscious state of our ego self for the future, out into the world, out into the thread lines, out into the future of this year. It's an action energy. It's also trining with Saturn. So it's like, what are we committing to? And Venus is also dancing with Uranus. So we've got the galactic frontier out in the corridor on our better behalf, as far as I'm concerned. And the moon is in the heavenly universe with Leo soon. So you may kind of conclude that you are who you are. Like you are really climbing into your skin. You're being embodied in the physical, like who you are authentically, because that is authentically who you are. So with our emotions dancing with our commitments, water, and just paying attention to the high tides, the emotional springs of what you feel today. What are your feelings expressing? What are they trying to say? What are they speaking? What are they coagulating with? Are they frozen up, or are they in the flow? Or are they snowing from the heavenly realms? We're in Utah, snow again. Your heart field. Our heart really wants to initiate a new action to take, a new way of treating ourselves. So it's an option with all of us is to really get into the waters. If you're in Utah, however, go run out and play in the snowstorm. Create a snow angel. I don't know. I kind of feel like, when the rain comes down, you're out dancing in the rain. Maybe we need to go out and dance in the snow. Maybe we need a salt bath, a Himalayan salt bath, or a Celtic sea salt bath. Do a cold water ritual. I've been watching that Wim Hof and taking cold showers. I think I saw, Russell Brand. We've got options. So that was a great interview he did. But going to the waters, it really gets us in the flow. It brings us clarity. It really wakes us up with where we belong and what we open up to. Dancing, we're kind of fully sensing faith, heartfelt faith. The universe really is moving us. Our faith in just that. moving us to where we really belong and letting us know where we no longer belong. Like, I no longer belong serving the few. The God front in front of us, it's like a journey with the Myrtle in the realm of our spiritual tools, receiving an activation, getting a lightning bolt, a jolt of like an epiphany, that aha moment. And our heart, our inner heart will, it's ready to take the action to really create and initiate with what remains for us. So it might be even excelling us. It's the element of surprise. I've been talking about that all month, but that's the kind of energy we want. So welcome to the Daily Snippet. Once again, I'm your host, a practicing holistic shaman medium, an otherworldly life coach, and a subtle energetic surgeon. I went with that instead of psychic surgery, coined by both Miss Cindy Dell and Elder Malidoma Somé, the prodigy. I'm still a prodigy, even though he's in the other world. I can call him in. And a reflector by design in human design. I do go by the term holistic shaman medium, which is just a choreography of them all. I get very interesting insights and downloads, I must say. But my intention is to utilize the indigenous technologies. I really feel the elemental realm is a prime directive to begin with. The imaginal realms, the shaman's portal, our original divine blueprint, along with cowrie shell divination. These all kind of do a choreography. The universe kind of shows me on display what's needed when people come in. I usually get the download for the message for them a day before. Sometimes, always prophetic, interesting. But it's about navigating our soul's harmonic through all of these realms, whether it's a dimension, a portal, a gateway, all the things really. It could even just be the cosmic highway with really offerings, prescriptions, ritual. Me, myself, I feel like I need an earth ritual. I need to be buried in the grave, really connecting to Mother Earth. Where do I belong? What do I identify with? I am in total transformation change. I'm telling you, it's happening for me. And as a reflector, I'm sure it's happening for you. Being in the right place at the right time, reflecting to the village what's happening. So usually it's the otherworldly kind of rituals. Those are kind of what I prescribe to really add to the juice to your main stage container, to really kind of wake you up and pop your cherry. Rituals are the origin. They're really food for our soul, a prescription to kind of activate your gift and purpose. So your light shines even brighter. We all have a gift and purpose. But with that, my name is Tonya Dee, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. I almost called it my heavenly medicine room. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do authentically. If your heart is calling out, YouTube and Musing with Tonya Dee, my podcast. I have a new episode out today, which I'll get to. The season of Aries. It really is about who we are inside of ourselves, how the world sees us, how we showed up. What skin are we wearing? What's the wardrobe look like? But before I go any further, I always want to give a shout out. I've seen new subscribers, 12 the new peeps entering the village, the community. I see you coming in. I get alerts. That's awesome. I always like to give a validation, a voice of acknowledgement that you are seen, new friends and guests arriving to my show. Also, of course, those of you that have already been on my journey since the beginning, that tune in randomly, watch the replay, doesn't really matter. Takes a village, takes a tribe, a community. It's about gratitudes and blessings. And we need to create that community now more than ever, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening on the cosmic highway in a way. And of course, if you don't mind hitting the white rabbit, the bell, so you're notified, the white button, when I do go live. And remember, a comment if you do feel you need a message specifically for your day. Sharing is just another way of paying it forward, and I feel like we need more of that. You could also, of course, find me on TikTok. That's kind of where I'm navigating more for. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer, but sometimes we have an energetic hiccup. We're in the trivial pursuits. We're in the waterways, and we need an otherworldly life coach assistant, myself included, by the way, to really get us out of our own magical way so our light shines brighter. And the daily snippet. What do I muse about here every day? Well, the cosmic insights, the planets. And today we've got some great stuff happening. By design, I do follow the lunar energies of the moon through the season of Aries and the gates in the human design chart. I do have a gate activated today, so I'm going to tune into that a little later. I did get the right image this time. But our root channels online, the feeling of the physicality, physical empathy, things become physical, manifested, taking form. That's what our gift and purpose is, to bring energy from the spirit realm, downloads, and manifest them in the physicality in our physical world. So just rooting our intentions. This is a highly activated rooting day, getting to the root. Whether it's the root cause, the root issue, the root manifestation, like what does your heart really want to manifest? And the elementals, the 4 pillars. I do a mystery guest. By the way, yeah, I do a mystery guest on Sundays in the 4 pillars. I was about to show you something, but I'm getting ahead of my game. The subtle energies. I love the energies of the chakras, and different ones get activated every day during different seasons. I feel like we percolate and we go back to the root. We're going to head into the Earth star when we hit Taurus. We'll get into that later, but the channels and the pathways, the meridians, and the auric fields. We'll get into that a little later too. But being that we are in the corridor, initiating a new way of treating ourselves, self-treatment. Who am I? And am I treating myself better than ever before? I am being authentic to who I am. So how do we treat ourselves inside of ourselves, whether it's our nutrition quotient, our exercise routine? Are we loving ourselves? Like, are we in relationship with ourselves, our inner posture, the inner imagery? Sometimes we've got to clean all this up. So we are in a day of physical authenticity, our ego self, ready to take action within ourselves. Whatever action that we take today, initiate, it's only going to propel our life forward into the physical manifestation, our root center. We're going to cleanse that. So it will also serve as kind of a marker point on the energetic timeline of an inner transformation within ourselves, like who we are for the rest of the year. And then we can excel and shift again next year. But you may be feeling this excelling. Maybe you're revving up your inner core. Maybe you're a little hyperactive. Maybe you're overly impulsive. Maybe you're feeling a little aggressive. So things like being patient or sitting still. And I actually mused about this morning, like the snow is kind of a standing still of water, taking form. And like really talking to the waters. I think we're getting so much snow because we've been praying for water for so long and the universe is just packing it in all at once. You know, so this might be a little difficult. And really the best thing to do with this energy is to really channel it into that get her done stuff, movement, exercise, cleansing, kickboxing, packing in my case, cleaning house. However, it's not about pushing too hard. It's about Goldilocks and the 3 bears. You want it just right in the percolating center. So these interactions will really take, when we take them, we'll put the final piece of our own puzzle of how we really treat ourselves authentically. So it's a day to really follow through with that inner commitment for how we do treat ourselves. And it's time to begin with what we are committed to on that podium yesterday, whatever declaration in your own magical policy within yourself. So today's about taking that first step, the baby step, to initiate the change of our inner world and also to see the world outside of us in new ways, initiating a change in our inner behaviors towards ourselves. Like, how do we really treat ourselves? And on a side note, it's also a magical day to stop or hit the red light, cease and desist a behavior, evict, give yourself an eviction notice, just releasing things that really no longer are serving our highest good. They may have served us in the past, but they're not serving us now. So you may find that you have not only the energy, but also the inner motivation, the light, the aha, the epiphany to really go forward and to do it. So really be open, be yin flexible. Yin energy is more flexible. Be like the moon as you take your first step and just not taking it too far. It's a baby step. So it's kind of like we're floating in a way. There's no need to take on more or bite off more than we can chew. Just do what you can. Be like the Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Be medium. Be just right. It really is all about the baby steps to initiate this new behavior of how we treat ourselves authentically. And I'm going through it myself. So really take your time as you move forward, installing, if you will, these subtle modifications. I would do an energetic root center cleansing. My buttercup meditation is amazing for this. Cleansing the root chalice, our chakra. So you may have to go to the inner birthing room of the arrival of your earth plane and kind of cleanse that inner womb, if you will, of before you arrive. There's a process there. Your arrival to the earth plane. There's lots of sacred sauce that happens. So just a few announcements. I got a lot happening today in a weird kind of way. This is my new podcast out. You're going to love Martin. It's on my Musing with Tonya Dee Podcast. You can find me also on Spotify and Apple, I believe Google and Amazon. Just really Google Musing with Tonya Dee. You probably can find me anywhere. Or just listen on TonyaD.tv. Listen there. But this is Martin Hristov. Love his last name. why your life is the way it is. It's another amazing interview. Be sure to tune in. I do have the Musing Moon meditation, the full pink moon in Libra, on my YouTube highway. And for fun, if you would love to be a guest on my mystery show, that's kind of my peak there, The Rising of the Origins, a mystery guest. I actually bring in the 4 pillars on a Sunday. So you can subscribe to that, subscribe to my Musing News. And I do a mystery guest. I read your chart, show you your useful elements, and talk about what's coming in for the month, possibly. I usually just let the universe guide me on that, along with the year and the 10 pillars. Pretty fascinating. And then I'm putting together, I'm so excited, The Witcher's Way to Manifestation. It's being updated. It's getting a facelift at the moment. So if you do want to dive into your cosmic soup, not just your cosmic soup, but your energetic centers and the elementals, so you can really cleanse each chalice on your way to manifest, recalibrating your manifestation and the abilities, mapping out our divine design to really manifest and co-create with Creator, the manifest. We all manifest differently. We all law of attract differently and uniquely. That's what makes the universe, the world, so galactically fun. So comment if you would love to have an opportunity to join me for this. And of course, I do still have Mongolia, 10 magical indigenous souls. If your heart's calling and you wish to travel to a culture and learn how the shamans of Mongolia actually work, different than Peru, different than Africa, at least Burkina Faso, I could say that. But the spirits of the land traveling with these indigenous medicine people. And today, by the way, I got this in here, the gate that's on by design. So I have the channel of operating, the channel of curiosity, which actually made me really laugh today. I believe this is my unconscious sun gate, but don't quote me on that. But by design, the channel of curiosity. What do I always say? Stay curious and question everything. So this is a design of the searcher. It's a sensing circuitry. It's the energy of seeking new ways of seeing things and focusing on sharing with other people the truths that I've actually faced on the ground, the earth plane of my own personal experience. And gate 11 is about ideas. 56 is about stimulating those ideas and bringing in peace. So pretty curious there. So it's the wandering storyteller. It's the energy of, what do I want to say? It's the energy to tell the stories and really kind of share the adventure, if you will. So that's some pretty exciting things are happening for me. And then I wondered if I had another gate, but that's tomorrow. So this is definitely the week where I have a bunch of gates operating on my behalf, might as well say. Okay, and then on the elemental highway, great stuff is happening too. We have a yin pig of a day. A ding high. Yin fire is inner fires. It's the inward journey. The water of the pig is reflecting the fires, our inner fires. And fire is spirit. Water is also a spirit. So we've got the spirit of the waters. We've got the spirit of the fire. Spirit of water is more about shape shifting, transformation, how water can transform into different shapes. Well, kind of all of them can, but you kind of get the idea, I hope. So like water, water can freeze, water can steam, water can birth anew, water could be the galaxy, water could be the ocean. So different ideas of water. That's usually what I see. And speaking or toning into the water, the elementals. So this is a very inward day, inward self-treatment, treating ourselves better than ever before. Yin fire has the energy, the charisma. It's the fire personality of warmth and being enthusiastic, an inner charmer. And obviously I've had this going on because I can feel it all percolating inside myself. Of course, I was talking to my root center earlier. But the pig is power for a yin fire person. It's optimistic, clear power. It's focused power, power of clarity, communication, being in the flow. It's intuition with our psychic abilities. So that might percolate through. You might get like this intuitive download because we are moving to a new place of where we belong, heartfelt, through the universe. That's kind of the codex. And the yang wood also in the pig, that's a resource. It's a mentor. It's a parent. It's a teacher. It's hidden. It will be released at the hour of the tiger or the direction of the tiger. You can actually call that in if you want, an element. Yang tree, go to a tree. Yin wood is also a resource as well, but it's lacking the vitals for our yin fire day. It's an improper resource. There's too much of it. It may put out our inner fires. So it's more negating. And our day is not rooted. The fire energy is an action energy, especially in the season of Aries and Mars, but it's not rooted. So it's like our fire energy, our spirit is floating in the clouds. So you want to kind of ask yourself, are your inner fires kindling? Are they birthing? What is the temperature of your inner fires? And the yin water on the heavenly stem of the year, that's a resource as well, but it's a controlling resource. So, go inward, go to your spirit altar, allow spirit to be the prime director, maybe pray, do an invocation. It's the prime minister, it's the agent of our day, I would say. A useful element, I think, would be fire. So maybe I got to go light some candles. Actually, I do at my ancestor's shrine now that I said that out loud. Metal to do some pruning of all this yin wood. And honestly, I would stick with metal and yang wood. Go to an adult tree or a tree in its birthing stages, teenagers. Do a ritual with a tree, birthing anew. Or go to your root center, really stirring the root center. Apparently mine's all stirred. Go into your youth if you can, like third person omnipresent, where you look into when you were in the womb, what was it like for you? And maybe cleanse that out. Healing the inner child, that expression of who we are before we arrived into planet Earth. Just navigating into a new way of being and meeting yourself with your your inner self, so your light shines even brighter, and kind of cleansing up the cobwebs that might be in your root center to activate. Interesting, right? Pretty choreography here. Okay, we do have a message for our day, which I got the wind this morning, and another card, so stay tuned. So what is the wind? The wind is the winds of change. The wind generally comes from the east. It's the eastern winds. It's the direction of the east. It's the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon. It's also wealth, abundance comes from the east. And the 63, this is Venus, it's Jupiter, it's what we open up to, it's what we believe we are able to open up to and accept and receive. So when we believe it, we open up to it, we receive the sign, the signal. Go to the sign, it's time to act upon what we believe and what we are receiving. It's an initiation. It goes with the energy of today, the 9, which is Mars. And the wind is also the elemental of air, the air elemental beings. It's communication, it's thought, it's song. It's the winds of change, the messages that the wind brings from leaf to leaf, bee to bee, what we fly upon. Soaring, ideas, inspiration. But it's also change. It's the positive and the negative. It's the voice of change. It's transformation. It can blow in from all directions, whether it's the east, the south, the west, the southwest, southeast, all the stuff. So whichever way the winds are blowing for each and every one of us today, the message, the winds whispering winds, or shouts. Wind is also a nature element. It's the east, it's wood, and shouting. Somebody whose voice they shout when they speak, that's an imbalance of nature energy. Shouting words could be a challenge. Often it's chaos too. And it takes a lot of courage for us to really go out directly and face these winds. However, that's the message. So when we find this kind of boosted energy, it's like an enterprise, if you will, and moving towards it, moving into it, receiving the bounty, the lessons, the memo. The southern winds and realms are fire. The south, it's this new sense of self-trust. It's our spirit energy. It's discarding what's no longer serving us, where habits of a lifetime create a habit of their own and a timeline. So parts of us that are no longer necessary or needed, we are really shedding some serious skin. Where the western winds, I'm pointing, in case you're wondering, the west is over there for me. This is the winds of inner introspection. It's the yin metal energy. It's the willingness, it's courage to really make that final decision and letting go of attachments, those physical ego desires. Where the northern winds, the water of the winds in the north, reminds me kind of the Game of Thrones, just because it's snowing, I guess. But the water is moving us to bring into clarity our ancient wisdom, strength, shifting, transforming. Like water in the east is about carrying the visions, the ideas, clarity of our gift and our purpose, especially in a year of nature that we are in the Dagara cosmology. But being that it's otherworldly, this is winds of change, transformation, shifting us to be our authentic self. And that's the medicine, just recognizing the values of chaos. Also nature. Nature is chaos. It can be dramatic when it's changing and transforming. And chaos often is seen as a force of adversity, destruction, windstorms, tornadoes. They really provide us with the chaos, clearing the debris, spreading seeds so plants and trees and all the things take root into new fields, new directions. You might be at a crossroads at the moment. Maybe you feel it feels that way actually, or maybe it may seem that way as if our world, your world, has been turned upside down, really at a crossroads. But this is temporary. It's a temporary storm. It's going to blow over. It's just cleaning up. It's cleaning the pathway. It might even be a communication barrier within yourself or somebody else. But either way, the winds have come to offer us change and transformation, clearing the way for us. Maybe your list to do is a little too overwhelming, but the medicine is truly simple. It's the message to really slow down, take the breath and the pause, and maybe we need a course correction. So it's like waiting for the storm, the battlefield to clear and clean things up, and know that the storm upon us, we all have greater value. So if we can remain in the zone of neutrality during this storm, this cosmic hiccup, clarity and greater things are to come from it. So it's a message of like, this too shall pass. But being that it's a day to kind of officiate, if you will, a new way of treating ourselves within ourselves, and just echoing that outside of ourselves, like really pulsing it outside of ourselves, and taking our time to give ourselves this sacred space to really perfect our new process. It really is like we're in this metamorphosis, or maybe we're breaking out of the shell, the cocoon. Often we feel as if we are running out of time. Time is running out, which is never true. Time is effervescent. It's fluid. It doesn't work the same in the other world. I know that from my own experience, or at least my perspective. So there's no need to worry about time. We often rush when we feel that way. We hurry. We create opportunities really to just make more mistakes, getting the rug ripped out from underneath us. So taking a breath and a pause, knowing heartfelt that we have all the time that we need, taking the baby steps and focusing in or honing in on an outcome, the performance, even if our inner skill set, we have our gift and purpose. So there's no need to really hit the pedal to the metal, speeding things up, patting ourselves on the back for a change, and initiating seriously how far we have come, the forces of adversity. I would say kind of go for it, create your sacred space for your own way of initiating and treating yourself better than ever before. Go out and take a hot bath. Go out and make a snow angel. I believe the universe is moving us to where we ultimately belong. And in doing so, in light of it, we are really shedding some serious skin. But after the wind, I had another card fly out, which we've already had this week, which I found actually quite curious. The arrow again. This is no need to kind of mismanage our beliefs within ourselves. I believe we all deserve to be treated better than ever before, and that's kind of what we're initiating. And isn't it time to admit that the path possibly that we're on isn't the path of soul service to ourselves? So this is about really allowing and surrendering and letting go of all of the attachments. This card's shown up twice this week. Things that are no longer serving us. Maybe they served us in the past, but they are not doing it now. So the arrow is actually a message that we need to birth or land in a new time, a new space, a new place. Take a breath and take the pause as we really are regrouping all of these characters within us of who we are. Maybe asking ourselves, our inner self, our Yin Fire, if what we desire is heartfelt, really worth the time and our energy. But Yin Fire is also our small intestine. This is where we absorb nutrients into our bloodline. And fire is also red blood circulation. So are we absorbing nutrients that really feed our spirit? It's truly a sign that maybe something better is definitely on the horizon. We need some inner peace. That's on the horizon as well. We're on the pathway to heal these aspects of us that may have been suffering through these cloudy waters or muddy waters. Our inside voice as well, affirming something optimistic about who you are. What do you really desire within your heart? Whatever that is, it will be waiting for us if it is authentically, truly ours. It becomes authenticated. So an affirmation for this very transformative day, I would affirm that the universe truly has my back. It's moving me faith-driven or directed to be where I'm authentically supposed to be. So you may need to chant, use a sounding bowl. I actually had dream visions about a sounding bowl. The O, Lom, the root center. It's the O sound of road. That's how you say the Lom. when you tune into that. But open your heart to accept the universal blessings through your heart space, filling it to your physicality, filling it into your bones, and allow spirit to be the prime operator. Maybe you're doing a prime operating assistant. I'm thinking of a spiritual, seriously, surgery. With all of that, I say Ashe, blessings as always to you, my friends. And I'll see you on the other side, if not at least tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. It's been magical. I can feel it already. What is happening here? That is so strange. Okay, well, I don't have my cute video. I'll show that later. I oppose my video. Don't mind me, Topsy Turvetish.